Like many important pop-punk records, one of the central themes of Take This to Your Grave is the band's hometown, Chicago, Illinois, and what it means to them at this crucial stage of not only their lives, but their band's too. Coming straight off the back of a rushed mini LP, Fall Out Boy's Evening Out With Your Girlfriend, a project recorded in just 2 days, the band quickly moved on to start work on their debut release, re-recording and re-releasing only one song, Calm Before the Storm. Fall Out Boy's songwriters, primarily Pete Wentz but also Patrick Stump on this album, were licking fresh wounds when making Take This to Your Grave. Pain from broken relationships and the gut punch that your first steps into adulthood can be. Their record reflects that, but it doesn't choose to be bitter like so many people choose to be. They wrote these songs with the intention to rise above, know that they've been kicked to the floor, but to stand up again, have faith in themselves and try to be better men for it. Chicago is So 2 Years Ago is a song that focuses on that hometown, and what it means to take your first steps away from it, as a band and as a young adult. Your hometown molds you. Its attitudes can become your attitudes, its weather can become your favourite, and its infrastructure can signal when you're home, for better or for worse. But either way, those feelings of being home are at least secure. It's a known quantity. It may be flawed, but at least they're flaws you know. This relationship with their city mirrors the breakups talked about on this album. They know that they're destined for bigger things, so it's hard to feel comfortable staying in a city you've explored, felt, and lived in for around 2 decades. Or indeed, with a person you've been in a relationship with. These street signs bring back every emotion they associate with life in Chicago. Yes, the ex-girlfriends and their new boyfriends, the bad nights out and the empty shows, but also the music they've made, the house parties, and the good friends they've found along the way. In that respect, Chicago is So 2 Years Ago is emblematic of Take This to Your Grave as a whole, an album that took the themes explored in the 90s pop-punk movement, of girl problems and teenage angst, high schoolers and whatever Mark Hoppus was doing with his hair, and left us with a more poetic view of what it means to move on from the only life you've ever known, from a place that framed your worldview for so long. 15 years after Take This to Your Grave was released, the band released a 3-track LP named Lake Effect Kid. It consisted of 3 songs, likely written during different eras of the band's history, with each track dedicated to Chicago. The title track, Lake Effect Kid, as well as City in a Garden and Super Fade. So while the band's opinions on Chicago and Take This to Your Grave are clear, their tune seems to have changed after they've grown up, moved on and lived in other places. Fall Out Boy are most definitely fans of Chicago nowadays. And they're far from the only ones. Some of the most notable bands from every era of pop punk are Chicago natives. From their contemporaries, Alkaline Trio, to Sad Boys Real Friends, revival bands Sleep On It, and newcomers like Fredo Disco. It's clear Chicago's music scene is important to the genre as a whole, and not just the kids who grew up there and start bands. On the surface, Take This to Your Grave may seem no different to the albums that preceded it. But in the depths it explores the genre's motifs. It's clear that it is not only one of the most influential LPs of the genre, but in my personal opinion, one of the greatest pop-punk records ever released. It took what was there with respect, but left the genre with so much more. And while other records of its caliber often stray from the strict definition of the pop-punk sound, Take This to Your Grave nails every aspect of what makes a pop-punk record a pop-punk record. But perhaps that's just because every pop-punk record since has been trying to be Take This to Your Grave. With shouted emotional lyrics, gang vocals, a polished take on punk and hardcore influences, this record talks about relationships, and crucially, there are glimpses of raw takes on mental health, which latterly became a staple of the genre, nearly a decade later. A record about outgrowing the city you grew up in, Take This to Your Grave remains important, influential, and notable even as it nears the end of its 2nd decade. Personally, I got the most plays out of this album in my late teens. I'd play it before house parties or even after a long shift at my first job. A beer in one hand, shouting all the words, and for that alone, I am in debt for Fall Out Boy and this LP. I hope you've enjoyed this new video and the new style of content on the channel. If you would like to see more, you can buy a shirt or support me on Patreon. It'd really help out. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.